Iniquities are passed down from the fathers. Men that have bad habits. Men that don't meet together with other Christians. Men that don't do Bible study. Men that still do things they know they ought to not be dabbling in, right? Men, iniquities are passed down from the fathers. The fathers, but you know what? Good behavior is passed down from the fathers too. So the problem is we got men that aren't leading what's being passed down. Now, you could do a study, and I'm not asking you to do it, but the Bible talks about sin and iniquity and all these different words. But if you were to really look at iniquity, you'd see that most of the time it has kind of like a meaning, not just of sin, not just doing wrong stuff against the law or code of God, but idolatry type things. Iniquity. Serving something else other than God. Being drawn to worship something more than God, okay? Iniquities. Now, these iniquities are passed down. So if I, which I was, loved to hunt, and man, before God got a hold of me, I hunted on Sunday. I didn't go to church if I could help it. Might be on Easter or something, you know? I'm just being honest. I'm not saying you ought to be that way. But you know what would have happened if God hadn't got a hold of me? My kids wouldn't be in church. They'd be hunting on Sunday because that iniquity would be passed down. It'd be what they'd seen. Am I right? How many of y'all know this is true and see it in practice all the time? Right? It seemed like people over time, and I tell you, I wasn't smart enough to figure that out, you know, to change that pattern. But the Bible's telling me up front, God's telling me up front, you got to change and you got to lead and you got to become something that you weren't because it's going to be passed down. And the destruction of your kids is going to be on you. The ruination of your house and your lineage is going to be on your shoulders. If you're not careful. Does that make sense? Now, I don't care what you think about anything. You love your children, right? Men, all of us. We got to lift up and do better. This is what God's just telling me. He's just saying, look, I need some men that are really men that'll just stand up and be husbands. Now, there's another side to this. Women, you got to let your men lead. You got to let them lead. They can't lead spiritually if you're doing it too. You ever seen two horses trying to be the lead horse? Good grief. They're fighting more and foaming at the mouth more and biting the bit more against each other than they ever were against the wagon that they're trying to pull. You know, they'll spend all day just pulling against each other. Wagons move that far all day. Right?